India, as part of this globe, is motherland of yoga, and yoga whole world is celebrating. And on International Day of Yoga, June 21 has been identified. This date
यशोदा हॉस्पिटल का नेट से नंबर निकाल के
celebration.
ये क्यों नहीं मिल रहा है इसका नंबर? ये इसमें आ रहा है कि लॉन्ग नंबर.
We need your cooperation. Each one of you has to kindly mute your instrument. So I would like to say that India is custodian of universal wisdom that is called yoga. And we are doing yoga, we love yoga, not simply because we are Indian, but because India is custodian of this supreme wisdom for time immemorial. And today, for next 25 minutes, we are having congregation, and we shall have some discussion, pondering over on yoga. Of course, we cannot go into so much of activity, but still we may practice some moments of silence also here, and in this way, we would at least sow the seed of our dedication to celebration of Yoga Day. Had there been normal days, we would have gathered here in the beautiful campus of MDI, but in this constant environment, this is what we could do. So, topic given was Patanjali Yog Sutra for intellectuals, and I chose the topic for some reason, and I will also decipher why this exact type of wordings were chosen. But first of all, because our discussion is Patanjali Yog Sutra based, I would like to quote Patanjali Yog Sutra, first chapter, that is Samadhipad, 27th verse. And this verse is only having 3 words. Let me quickly in 1 minute introduce you Patanjali Yog Sutra. Just 1 minute. Patanjali Yog Sutra has 4 chapters, and including all 4 chapters, there are only 196 sutras. And each sutra is so small that except one sutra, each sutra can be written only in 1 line. Only one sutra is so longer, it goes to second line. So 196 sutras, total 197 lines. If you choose, let us say, font size 8 or 9 or 10, you can write entire Patanjali Yog Sutra, you can type it out on 3 pages of A4 size. Only 3 pages of A4 size, all entire seed sutras will come. And that is the beauty of this book. You see, 196 sutras or 197 lines, these are capable of bringing us from a state of mind where we are standing to the supreme blissful state of being that is called Nirbij Asampragyat Samadhi. Samadhi has also been categorized like Sampragyat Samadhi, Asampragyat Samadhi, Sabij Samadhi, Nirbij Samadhi, and this is most wonderful thing of the world, that only 196 sutras are capable of bringing any human being from present state of mind where we are basically, that is called, the attitude is called dukkhanushai in Sanskrit, that we are basically sorrow oriented people, and 196 lines, they are so blissful lines, they can lead us to Asampragyat Nirbij Samadhi. There is no other book like Patanjali Yog Sutra in this world. So this is basic introduction. And one thing more, there are 4 chapters. First chapter is called Samadhipad, and second chapter name is Sadhanapad. Third chapter is Vibhutipad, and 4th chapter is called Kaivalyapad. Beautifully designed. And somewhere the sequence of the title of the chapters do not appear to be so logical, because book is not simply logical. It is certainly not illogical. It is translogical. First chapter is Samadhipad. Whereas first chapter should have talked about input, that is sadhan or yoga ke sadhan. But first chapter is Samadhipad, means what shall be the supreme fruit of yoga. Sometimes you see some films are created and the storyline is like in the beginning there is a flashback and a climax scene is shown right in the beginning, and then entire film is the elaboration of that climax scene shown in the very first minute of the cinema. Similarly, this book I find an analogy. First chapter is Samadhi path. Second is Sadhan path. What are sadhan? Instruments of yoga. Third chapter is Vibhuti path. Vibhuti means various kinds of dhana, the assets which are gathered through yoga. And it is always suggested that whatever dhana or vibhuti you gather through yoga, they are not worth using. Any achievement, any mundane power achieved through yoga or sadhana or tantra or mantra should not be at all used, because in this world, from that height of yogic explanation, anything is in this world is not worth achieving. And that's why it is said in third chapter, that is Vibhuti path, that you will get so many dhana, so many of prosperous achievements through yoga, but they are not worth using. And that's why the fourth chapter is called Kaivalya Pad. Kaivalya, basically a term heavily used in Jainism, Kaivalya in Jainism, and Nirvana in Buddhism, Moksha in Hinduism, or Ilham in Islam, Ahur Mazda in Zoroastrianism. So all these are same, and that is the flow, that is the sense of flow of that book. But let us, for next about 60 seconds, let us chant Om. And Yoga Sutra, first chapter, 27th verse says, Tasya vachakah pranavah. Tasya means that. That means the supreme. Vachaka means it has been said to be so. And you see, language is basically invention of human being. So it has its own limitation. So language can indicate towards God or the supreme, but language cannot capture God. And that's why it is said that God is varnanatita. Varnan se atita. It is beyond your gamut of explanation, but at least it indicates. So Patanjali says in the first chapter, 27th verse, Tasya vachakah pranavah. If anything can be said about that supreme, that can be said that he is, or that is pranavah. Pranava means oh. So let us chant for next 60 seconds. Please don't unmute yourself. Keep yourself mute. I will chant, you listen, I will give you some space, and then you will also chant Om. So we are chanting Om. Few chantings of Om, maybe 10 or 11 times. Close your eyes, sit properly. Your backbone should be 90-degree angle from the earth, and shoulder should be equally distributed on both the sides. It is typically like a perfect normal curve, and your body is feeling less weight of itself. So this is the right posture. Close your eyes and we shall chant Om. I will chant Om, I will give space, you will also chant Om at your own place. So here we chant. Om. Better you chant with me only at your place. Let us chant 3 times more. Please open your eyes slowly and be available to the present moments. Tasya vachaka pranavah. Om. Om is not a syllable included in Devanagari Varnamala. It has A, I, E, Ga, Kha, Ga, Ga, but nowhere there is Om. Because Om is not a letter. I'm sorry. Om, पहले हिंदी में कहता हूं, फिर अंग्रेजी में इसका प्रयास करूंगा अनुवाद करने का. ओम अस्तित्व की ध्वनि है. Om is sound echo of existence. It is happening already. And actually we have to prepare. Sadhakas say that there are gradual levels of sadhakas. And at the highest level, sadhaka does not pronounce Om because he or she has prepared to that level of consciousness that the echo that is coming by cosmos, by the existence, that Om is heard. I'll tell you 5 stages here. Number 1. First stage of pronouncing Om is loudly outside. For example, Om. This first stage, at the beginning stage, at the nursery stage, the sadhaka should pronounce outside loudly. Then higher stage, second stage is outside mild pronunciation, like Om. Om. Outside loud to outside mild. Third stage is inside loud. You see, now you're not audible to anyone outside, but inside loud means you are not pronouncing, but you are creating a momentum and more echo inside and pronouncing Om inside. That's called inside loud. I cannot demonstrate that to you. You have to understand it. You have to practice it. Inside loud. I'm giving you 10 seconds for inside loud Om pronunciation. I'm also doing, you also do. Means you are silent, but inside very loud Om is going on. And fourth is mild inside. Mild means slowly, very, very mild chanting of Om inside. This also we cannot demonstrate easily. So, discussion on yoga will be mysterious. So there is some mystery has entered in our discussion. Outside loud, outside mild, inside loud, inside mild, and fifth stage is stop pronouncing Om either outside or inside and be available to the cosmic Om, and that would be audible. These are the discussions on Patanjali Yog Sutra about this verse, that is 27th verse of first chapter, Tasya vachakah pranavah. So, Om का उच्चारण और ध्वनि का उच्चारण हर जगह होता है. Chanting happens everywhere. But in Islam, or let us say in Sufism, basically, Om is not pronounced. But what is pronounced creates the same impact on the inner system. And that's called Hu. Allah, Hu, 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 Hu. And when Hu is pronounced properly, you see an energy rises from the navel part to upside. And what is said in Sanatana Dharma, 7 chakras, and this Manipur chakra is at navel, and upper chakras, they all are properly sprouted out through who also. So whatever we chant, chanting leads to certain achievements. Now, yoga, this is also yoga that in COVID-19 we all could sit together, we are meeting together here, few persons are meeting together. Yoga and chain, there are 2 words in Sanskrit, and for these 2 we have to put our efforts, and after putting our efforts we have to also surrender to God, and then God or the Almighty also protects these 2 things. One word is called yoga, other is called chain. Yog chain. You might have seen emblem of LIC like this, and protecting a lamp, a flame, and a verse is written at the bottom of that in curvilinear structure. Yog Kshemam Vahamyaham. If you have seen LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India Limited, that emblem Yog Kshemam Vahamyaham. They have taken this from Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, 22nd shloka, which says, Ananyas chintayanto man ye janah paryupasate teshang nityabhiyuktanam yog kshemam vahamyaham. Yog kshema. देखिए 2 शब्द आ गए, 2 words which are suggesting yog kshemam vahami aham. God says that you do your work and then surrender to me, and I will take care with a guarantee. I will take care of your yog. Yog means attaining that you don't have now. Yog, and shame means protecting that we have, which you have already now, which should not be destroyed. So attaining that is not with me now is yog, and protecting that is worth protecting, that is with me now, protecting that is shame. योग क्षेमं वहामि अहम. तुम्हारे योग और क्षेम का वहामी मतलब वहन, यानी पीठ पे लादूंगा. God is ready to be your a person who can carry your baggage, and he is saying that I will carry your baggage of योग and क्षेम. योग और क्षेम 2 शब्द आए हैं. अब देखिए, I will take 3 instances of the word योग. One comes from Patanjali Yog Sutra. Patanjali Yog Sutra, as I said, there are 196 sutras. The second sutra of the first chapter of Patanjali Yog Sutra gives the first description of yoga, and the description is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yogash chitta vritti nirodha. When we do Sandhi Vicheda, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Nirodha means to shun, to stop. Chitta vritti means basically the momentum, the vicissitudes, the ups and downs of your inner consciousness, or let us say vibration, vicissitudes with greater amplitudes. Because at 9 o'clock suddenly you feel happy, at 9:05 suddenly you feel very sad. What is going on in our life? Something else is controlling me, and at 9 o'clock it is making me happy, and suddenly at 9:05 it is making me sad, because again I am being controlled by someone. So what is called in Sanskrit sanghat, momentum in English. And we are always being bombarded by outside entanglements, and that's why we lose our serenity. And Patanjali says, yoga चित्त वृत्ति निरोध. चित्त की वृत्तियों का शमन करना ही योग है. The nature of the chitta, or here chitta and mind are not same, but allow me to say it same, that of your mind or of your chitta, the very basic nature of getting it subjected to vicissitudes, to control that tendency is yoga. Yog shaman hai. It is restraining the vicissitudes of your tendencies of your chitta or of your mind. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. 3 और इंस्टेंस आते हैं जहां सीधे सीधी, in a very straight manner, in a very straightforward manner, yoga has been described, and all 3 come from Bhagavad Gita. One says yoga karmasu kaushalam. Now here intellectuals, we have to understand. And why intellectual word was used in my title, let me say it very clearly within a minute. It is an important issue that I am discussing. Intellectuals are at certain disadvantage on the path of attainment of truth. And if I claim that I am intellectual, I have certain disadvantage. Why? Very interesting. In Shiva Sutra, Shiv is having dialogue with Parvati, and he has given a sutra which says, Jnanam Bandha. That knowledge is bondage. When first time I saw this, I started feeling uncomfortable. That we are set to move from Ajnana to Jnana. And then Jnanam Bandha, Shiva is himself saying to Parvati. What does it mean? It means the Jnana, or the worldly Jnana, I'm not saying about that Paravidya, worldly Jnana creates a bondage. Suppose you are a thinker, I am a thinker, and we start belonging to a particular ism, like maybe socialism, ism, or capitalism. And what happens when we belong to certain ism, we create a bondage. Because we start falling prey to all the philosophy and dictats of that particular ism. And once an instrument is appointed within, and that's why it is said in Vedanta that you must be able to appoint a guru inside yourself. Atma Puja Upanishad has said that you please pray yourself by yourself, because to whom you are praying dwells in yourself. Now what is said by a poet, Main bhi tu, Meena bhi tu, Saki bhi tu, Mahfil bhi tu. Everything is you. You are the student, you are the teacher, you are the institution, you are the pedagogy. You have to teach yourself. So, intellectuals basically, when they start falling prey to a particular ism, that becomes a bondage. Because liberation requires shedding and transcending all the ism. And Patanjali says, very interestingly at one place, Ishwar Pranidhana Dva, means on the path of yoga, if you assume, if you assume that God is there, this assumption also works. See how boldly Patanjali says that assumption of God also works. It is a revolutionary statement. Assumption of God also works on the path of attainment of yoga. It also means if you assume, if your assumption is that God is not there, that assumption will also work. आप बच नहीं सकते. You see, Vardhaman Mahavir said that assumption of Paramatma is not needed. And Gautam Buddha said that assumption of not only Paramatma, even Atma is not needed. Because Gautam Buddha said, forget about talking so much philosophical terms. You are persons with impurities, vikaras, work on it and become pure. And then whatever is worth knowing, you will know. Why I should give all kinds of theoretical proposition to you right in the beginning. And that's why Gautam Buddha, his Buddhism, his path was more emphasizing on action. That was called Shramana. श्रमण के दल राजगीर में घूमा करते थे. If you see the literature of Buddhism or Jainism, ये सब श्रमण करते थे, मेहनत करने वाले. श्रमण means doing labor. Labor means those who used to do penance. And that's why Gautam Buddha also said in Dhammapad, Sabbe sankhara anicchati yada panyaya pasati, that all kinds of momentum that are happening, bombardment happening on you, they are all ephemeral. They are all impermanent, and that's why through sadhana, through your yoga, through your shramana, you have to see all these bombardments. You have to be witness of that. And that's why witnessing, the technique itself was known as vipassana, because pashya means in Sanskrit to see. खुद ही देखिए कि क्या bombardment हो रहा है. And that's why, you see, yoga is for intellectuals. Because you need not to go necessarily for assumption that there is God. And even this assumption is not necessary that there is no God. Whatever is there, because intellectuals, they believe in openness, freedom. They say, don't put me into any kind of constant functions. And that's why yoga says, need not to be subjected to any constraints, because whatever is your assumption, you can proceed for yoga. And one interesting instance I'm saying you, that Ishwar Pranidhanadva means assumption of God works. And Patanjali also says, very interestingly, Yat Abhimat Dhyanadva. Ishwar Pranidhanadva, Yat Abhimat Dhyanadva. Means if you focus on God and meditate, this will also work. And alternatively, he says that Yat Abhimat Dhyanadva, or on whatever object you want to focus and meditate or be aware, focusing on one object, that also will work. Very interestingly, if I can focus, let us say, on chirping sounds of birds, that also will work. And if I am a bhakta of Ganesh Ji, and if I meditate on the feet of Ganesh Ji, that also will work. If I do not believe in Ganesh Ji, I believe on a glass, and I just be aware of a glass in my meditation, that also will work. So much freedom has been given, and intellectuals need freedom. They don't want any pre-assumption. Bhakta has pre-assumption, but that also works. And because that pre-assumption that God exists and he is carrying me on his lap, actually there is a great savior, and that strength is available with bhakta. But intellectuals, they are not enjoying that facility. So intellectuals are basically thrown alone in this world to struggle and find out truth. But yoga as a method or as a path is very much friendly to intellectuals, because there are four basic paths of yoga. One is called karma yoga. Karma yoga has been emphasized in all religions. Dhyana yoga, that is, we are talking about this yoga. Generally it is called Raj yoga also, Dhyana yoga also, or simply yoga. Other is bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga. I have seen sometime educated person saying to less educated, hey, tum kya karta? Bhakti, this will not work. You are playing cymbal, you are playing dhol, this will not work. Actually, we should not say like that, because that person, to that person, surrendering mind is already available. It is already available. And to intellectual, surrendering mind in general in the beginning is not available. But even if you take the path of yoga, the ultimate fruition would be that you will develop a surrendering mind, because that is a prerequisite to attain samadhi. I will quote from Patanjali Yog Sutra. This is Yog Sutra second chapter, and the shloka number 45. This very wonderful sutra. This says, Samadhi siddhi Ishwar pranidhanat. It means surrender to God brings perfection in samadhi. You see, entire Patanjali Yog Sutra, which has a base on Ashtanga Yoga, means eightfold path of yoga. First is yam, second is niyam. Yam means what we should not do. Niyam means what we should do, yam niyam. Third is asana. What kind of posture for healthy living should be there, asana. And asana has been described as sthir sukham asana. In whatever posture gives you comfort, that is your asana. We should not overstretch ourselves. So asana, pranayam, that which creates internal equilibrium. After pranayam, there is pratyahar. Pratyahar means actually here pratyahar means bring all your senses towards centripetal inner core. We have too much got subjected to centrifugal forces. We are so dynamic. Everywhere you are expected to be dynamic. Dynamic professor, dynamic director, fine. Well, but we never appreciate nowadays in the world charged by intellectualism that are you also introvert? Do you also ponder over? Do you think? Do you do manana? So this is needed. And you see, out of eightfold of Ashtanga Yoga, one particular stage is talking about creating introvert personality, which will help you to attain yoga and the fruition which can happen through yogic practices. So this is pratyahar. And then dharana. Dharana means concentration. And dhyana. Dhyana is not concentration, that is awareness. And then samadhi. Samadhi, what is samadhi? Very difficult to capture in words. But samadhi can be said based on Patanjali Yog Sutra that when objective meditation engulfs the subjective meditator and the sense of narrower self merges with vast ocean of consciousness, that stage is called samadhi. And you see, prerequisite of samadhi is surrendering to God. It means even to intellectual who moves on the path of yoga actually will attain surrendering mind. But surrendering mind is attainable by intellectual at the fag end of the process. Whereas a person charged with bhakti yoga, basically right in the beginning, starts testing the joy, testing the testful bhakti part of yoga. And that's why I put this title as Yoga, Patanjali Yog Sutra for intellectuals, because intellectuals have to sacrifice the test of surrendering in the beginning, because in general they are not surrendering mind persons. Whereas Bhakti Yoga persons, right from the beginning, start enjoying the nectar of surrendering attitude. So this is Patanjali Yog Sutra for intellectuals. We should respect time because it is a small window, and so many things can be discussed under yoga. I will just quickly summarize within 1 minute. So yoga is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Second definition of yoga comes from Bhagavad Gita. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. That yoga in karma is your effectiveness. The third definition also comes from Bhagavad Gita, that tan vidyad dukh sanyog vyog yoga sangitam. It means the attachment with dukkha and shunning of that attachment. Yog sanyog means what is that? Is attachment with dukkha, and shunning that attachment of dukkha is yoga. So yoga is minus minus plus, means not getting attached to dukkha is also yoga. And one more final, samatvam yog uchyate. This yoga description also comes from Bhagavad Gita, that samatha ka bhav, in equilibrium, transcending the duality, sukha dukkha, labh hani, jivan maran. Saying is very easy, but practicing it, transcending from duality and attaining the higher level of dimension of your consciousness, that is also a description of yoga, that samatvam yog uchyate, remaining established in equilibrium, irrespective of any circumstance in which we are living, is yoga. So thank you very much. At least we had yoga because MDI Parivar family is meeting today, and this is yoga. Let us enjoy this day. When we started this discussion, solar eclipse had not started, but I think now by this time it has started. Let us pray that Om Adityaya Vidmahe Sahastra Kirnaya Dhimahi Tanna Surya Prachodayat. Let this cosmic phenomenon of eclipse be merciful to all. Let me tell you that that a person like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born when solar eclipse was going on. We should not get perturbed by all these things, eclipse, solar, lunar. These all are happenings in the nature. Let us accept it, enjoy it. We should not start watching it with naked eye. We should protect ourselves, but we should always be available to the cosmic forces. And Rig Veda says, Ritasya yatha preta, that you be rhythmic to the existence and live with nature, enjoy it. Thank you very much. Because we have to stop somewhere, I have chosen to stop here. Thank you. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It was very nice, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. May God bless all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Om Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
a great